Hello all, this is Ashwin again. Welcome back to my tutorials on OpenCV3 and Python. So in this video tutorial we are going to understand the relationship between images and numbers. So let us get started with the theoretical part first, and then we are going to move on to the practicals. So the first thing that we need to discuss is that the nature of images that we are going to use in image processing, because we haven't really yet gotten started with the image processing using OpenCV. So before going to that, we just need to understand the fundamentals of image processing or computer vision. So as all of us know that humans are biological entities and we are naturally good at recognizing the patterns, recognizing as well as processing the patterns, if I'm correct. So whenever we want to perceive the real world, we use our senses. We get actually visual input, auditory input, and we get the inputs through smell and touch, etc. But this is not the same case with the computers, because computers are mathematical entities and they are very good at number crunching. So the crux of this is humans are very good at patterns and computers are very good with numbers. So whenever you want to process any sort of visual data, right, you see that visual stuff as a pattern. So whenever you meet a person, then you can just remember his or her own her face, right? And then if you see that person again, or if you see that person under any condition, right, you can actually immediately recognize that person. But that is not the same case with the computer, because computer sees everything as numbers. So that's why we there are like whole dedicated fields of studies like pattern recognition, face recognition, and artificial intelligence, neural networks, and all that sort of stuff, because we have to model patterns, okay, as numbers for the computers to be able to understand, process, and store all that information. So I'm telling you all these things because this is actually the core tenet of all these fields that I have mentioned earlier, like artificial intelligence, artificial neural networks, and computer vision, and all that sort of stuff. Even data mining, because everything is a number here. Okay, so for a computer system, even images are represented as numbers. Okay, so video is nothing but a rapid sequence of images, right? The images are woven in a particular format, in a particular order, in order to make in order to make a moving image. So that is nothing but the video, and video is also nothing but a set of numbers. So it wouldn't be a far stretch to say even sounds are numbers, right? Because whenever you record the sound for a computer system, then you have to digitalize it, then you have to like use various modulation techniques and all that sort of stuff. Anyway, that is like not in the scope of our tutorial, but just like for the information I'm telling you. So this is like the core tenet of all these advanced fields of studies. So why I'm telling this to you is because very soon we are going to see the demo of it. So now let us try to see a demo of this thing. So now this is a program which we have seen earlier. You can find this program and all the other programs that I'm going to use in this video tutorial in a GitHub repository that I have uploaded on the net, and you can find the link to that GitHub repository in the description down below. Um, so let's see what this program does. This program just like reads an image as it is, okay, in the color format, and then it shows it. So it is the famous image of Lena, which is the standard pro image for used for image processing. So let us execute this code and let's see what the output is. Okay, so now the code has been executed. You can see this in console, and this is the window. Okay, so this is the standard 512 by 512 Lena image that we frequently use for image processing practicals. So now if I hit any key, enter or something like that, this is going to vanish. So now let us see what is exactly happening, because we haven't ever got to discuss we haven't never got an opportunity to discuss the nature of images that we are using here. Okay, so now if you see these 3 lines of code, okay, now these 3 lines in this code is they are actually used for decoding the image, okay, for like in a visual format. Okay, but if you really want to see, now let me restart the console. Okay, if you really want to see what is there in the variable image1, okay, we can just say img1 print. Okay, and then we are going to see the data in img1. So now let me save it and execute it. Okay, so now this is what this is the value which is stored in the variable img1. Okay, so now let's copy this data and paste it in Notepad so that we can refer it for our understanding later. Okay. So the same way, now this is the data, right? So we even need to understand the data type of this data. I mean, what type of data it is. So we can just say type of img1. We need to understand the what type of data it is, and the output is class numpy.ndArray. So type is a built-in library function which returns the data type of the object passed to that. So this is a standard Python library function. So you can refer my other videos for understanding what an object is and all that sort of stuff. There is a whole different tutorial on that. So this is an object of type numpy.ndArray. We are going to see it in a moment what numpy.ndArray is. So first of all, now let us understand how the color image of Lena is represented using these numbers. Okay, so you can see like this is a set of numbers. Okay, now I have told you earlier that an image is nothing but a set of numbers. Image equal to set of numbers. So now this example is this example is a very good demonstration of that image is represented as set of numbers. But now we just need to know how this image, how computer understands this set of numbers, and how information is stored in this set of numbers. Now let's have a close look at the data points here. Okay, so now we all know that this is a color image. So each and every set of 3 numbers here is known as tuple. Okay, a tuple is nothing but another data structure, like it's a bunch of numbers grouped together here. Okay, so each image is represented using a tuple. So now a tuple looks like this. So each image is a set of tuples, and a tuple has got here in the case of, at least in the color images that we are using, a tuple has got 3 components. Okay, the first component, so every component here represents a color. Okay, so we know that there are various schemes to represent the colors. Okay, so that thing is known as color space. So here we can just say red, green and blue. Okay, so red channel, green channel and blue channel. Okay, so this 125 is representative of the intensity of the red color for that particular pixel. Every tuple here is representing a pixel. Okay, and any image is nothing but a set of pixels arranged in horizontal and vertical manner systematically. So now let's understand like what these numbers mean. So the numbers mean nothing but the intensity level of that particular channel. Okay, so we usually say red, green and blue, but here in the case of OpenCV, it's a bit different. Okay, it is like BGR. Okay, blue, green and red. So internally OpenCV always reads, stores and relays the image information in blue, green and red format. So this 125 is not the intensity of the red channel, but it is the intensity of the blue channel. The same way 137 is not the intensity of it is the intensity of green channel, and 226 is not the intensity of blue, but it is the intensity of red. So we just will like write it in a proper format, blue, green and red. Okay, and we are going to see in a moment like why these values are like this and not something else. Okay, so blue is 125 and red is 226. Okay, now there is another property of this thing, print img1 of the type. So now we understood now that what type of variable img1 is, but we know that this is not a single data type, right? This is a composite data type. This is like collection of tuples, and this is like numpy.ndArray. Okay, numpy.ndArray stands for n-dimensional array. Okay, it's a composite data type. let me copy it. It's a composite data type. Okay, it's n dimensional arrays. Okay, it is composite data type, and it is part of NumPy. So NumPy stands for numerical Python. So in case you are planning to have career in any sort of like scientific computing stuff, if you're not if you're not only a maker, you are looking for a career in scientific computing, then this is the fundamental library for number processing, numerical data processing that you need to know. And it is actually it is the part of like Python's scientific programming ecosystem. It usually comes packed with almost all the scientific distributions of Python as well as SciPy stack. So in case you are going to install something like Spider IDE and all, it will come pre-installed. It is going to come pre-installed. And also let's see, now also we will see what these numbers mean. Okay, so now we have already typed that code here. Okay, so let us execute it again. Okay, so I guess for that we need to close this window first. Okay, it says aborted. So let's restart the prompt. Yeah, I was saying that this img1.d type. Okay, img1.d type, it represents the data type of the constituent members of this ND array. Okay, so let me execute this code again. Okay, it says uint8. So let's copy this thing and let's try to understand what uint8 means. Okay, it seems it hasn't been copied. uint8 means unsigned integer of 8-bit. Okay, so unsigned integer of 8 bits means it has got 8 bits and the minimum value represented by this is 0000000. I mean 0 repeated 8 times. This is binary, and in hexadecimal, if you are aware, it is represented like this. Okay, and in decimal its value is 0, and the highest value it can represent is this. Okay, which is nothing but FF. Okay, in hexadecimal, and in binary it means 255. So we have the values ranging from 0 to 255 for each channel, which is nothing but a set of 256 values. So each and every channel here, okay, can have any one of these 256 values. Okay, from 0 to 255. So that's why these numbers are all between 0 to 255. You can actually manually go through either. Once you have actually this n-dimensional array, you can manually go through each number, or you can write write a small Python 3 program in order to check whether these values exceed 255 or if any of these values is less than 0. Okay, so you won't find any. You will find no value actually is either less than 0 or exceeding 255. So this is how we this is why we use unsigned integer. Okay, so now we have 3 channels, and we have then for each channel the possible set of 256 values. So this means that we have 256 raised to 3. Okay, that is 256 into 256 into 256 different unique colors. So we can calculate that what that number is going to be, 256. So this number is staggering 16,777,216, this number. Okay, so now this is a pretty big number, right? So each and every pixel can have like one of these possible one of the possible 16 million something values. So this is a pretty big number. So that's why even 8-bit an image with like 3 channels, with every channel with the size of 8-bit can store a lot of information related to the colors. Okay, so when the visual processing chip on our computer monitors as well as the computer processor, when it actually decodes this information, okay, for representing it to the humans, this is how it actually decodes it. Okay, it just like chooses this combination of colors, and then it just like shows us that pixel. I mean, it just makes that particular pixel on the screen glow with that particular tint of color. So so now this is like about the colors and the color channels and the color stuff and all. So we are next going to see the shape of the image. Okay, just type now print img1 dot shape. Okay, now let us understand what shape means. Meanwhile, rather than closing this window every time, now anyway we are going to deal with like the numerical data for next few minutes. So I'm gonna disable the line of codes, the lines of code which is gonna show the image to us, and we are just going to deal with the numeric data now. Okay, so I have disabled this, and let me restart the prompt again. I guess there is some problem. Okay, so let us execute this program again, and as you can see, we can see the shape of the image. So shape of the image is nothing but the resolution. So the resolution of the image. So this image is 512 by 512. It's one of the standard sizes used in the transmission and reception of the color images, and the number 3 represents the number of channels. We have already seen that there are 3 channels. The 3 channels are ordered in the blue, green, and red. Usually the channels are arranged as red, green, and blue, but whenever it comes to OpenCV, they are arranged as blue, green, and red. Okay, so the channels are arranged as blue, green, and red, and like these are 3 channels. So now next, let's see the number of dimensions an image has. 1 dot ndim. So ndim stands for it is a property which returns the number of dimensions. So when I execute this code, I get like 3. This is a 3-dimension image because we can see actually like there are 3 components of this tuple. So the first dimension is 512, which is nothing but the height. The second dimension is the width, 512, and the third dimension is number of color channels. So in case we are going to deal with images with more number of channels, the only the component which represents the color channel is going to differ, but the dimension will always be 3. Okay, so only in the case of grayscale image or a black and white image, we are just going to have 2 dimensions, that is the height and width, and every pixel is going to represent a variety of grayscale image. We are going to see that in a moment once we are done with the color image stuff. And the final thing that we are going to see is print size of the image, img1 dot size. Okay, so now we can calculate the size of an image ourselves, okay, without using this property. We just need to multiply the values of the dimensions. Okay, so 512 is the width, 512 is the height, and 3 is the number of color channels, okay, in this image. So if we just like multiply all these things, 3 values together, we are going to get a number. Okay, and we are going to get the same number whenever we are going to use this property of the image, size. So see, we got the same number, 786,432. Okay, so it is the same number. So mind it that this is not the size of the image on the disk, but it is the size of the image on memory. And as we all know, now let us see the format of the image that we are using. We are using the image in TIFF form, okay, format. So images are popularly represented using TIFF, JPEG, and PNG formats. And because of that, the size of image is reduced because the image is compressed and stored on disk. But when the image is decoded by OpenCV, it actually creates an n-dimensional array or n-dimensional matrix in the memory. Okay, and these many bytes is what image consumes in the memory of any computer, in the RAM of computer. So 786,000 bytes means almost it's like 7 KB. Is it like 786 KB? Okay, so that is the actual size of this image. Okay, so now we are done with the color images. Now these all values are relevant to the color images. Now we are going to see how a grayscale image is represented in a computer system. So first of all, we need to see how this image looks like. So we are going to comment all the lines which relay the numerical information about the image, and we are going to see how a grayscale image looks like first. Okay, so this is the output window, and this is how a grayscale image looks like when we are this is how an image looks like when we read that image as a grayscale image by passing 0 as an argument to imread function. So we have already seen that in the earlier tutorials, like how to read the images in different modes. Okay, so you can even read a color image in a grayscale mode. So we are just using that funda here, and let's comment the code which relays the information visually to us. And let's uncomment this line of code, and before going forward we will just like omit some part of code, and yeah, we will restart the console. We will have a fresh start here. Let us save this code and let us execute this code again. So here we can see that this is nothing but a it seems like a two-dimensional matrix. So let's copy this matrix here, and okay, so now this is the matrix. Okay, so in case you might be wondering like what these three dots are, these three dots are something like which the IPython console uses while truncating any big n-dimensional matrix, because I guess the size of screen is not sufficient to represent all these 512 by 512 matrix. So now we will see actually more information about this thing. Okay, print img1 dot d type, and we will also print type of img1. Okay, and let's say okay, let us execute this code again. Okay, so still the type of the data is nothing but numpy.nd array. This is also nd array, but this is like a bit different type of nd array, and the data type of the constituent members of this nd array is still uint8. So now let's have a look at the other stuff here. We have already typed this line of code, so we will just have a look at the shape of the stuff, and then we are going to see how why it is so. Okay, so as you can see, it is only 512 by 512. Now as we all of us already know, this is a grayscale image, so we do not require independent color channels. So all these values just represent a intensity of the grayscale. Grayscale. Okay, so 0 means black. Okay, and 255 means white. Okay, so everything in between is a shade of gray, or the combination of the intensity of the gray color. So there are more than 60 shades of gray. There are like 255 different shades of gray, we can say. So and the black is the darkest shade of gray. If I'm not wrong. So this is how we represent a grayscale image in a computer system. So this is nothing but 512 by 512 matrix, because that is the resolution of the image, and every number here represents a single pixel. So earlier we had actually a combination of 3 numbers representing a single pixel, but here, because we have just a single color channel, it is there is only one number representing a pixel here. So let's have a look at the other stuff also, the dimension as well as size. Okay, and we can predict the rest of the 2 values. So number of dimensions should be 2. Okay, number of dimension, the output of that should be 2, and the values should be the value of the size should be 512 into 512, because size is you can just cancel 512 into 512. Okay, so the value of the value of the size output of the size property should be 262,144, and the dimension should be 2. So let us execute this and let's see if it is correct. Yes, this is correct. The dimensions are 2, because we have just like 512 into 512 and 512, and we have 262,144. So this is how this is how we represent the images using numbers in a computer system, because it is easy for a computer to understand images using numbers. And we have also learned that NumPy is used for manipulating these numbers, and NumPy is actually a kind of library which makes the manipulation of the numbers very easy. So in our next tutorials we are going to see how to use NumPy in more detail. I mean, as we are not actually going to focus much on NumPy in this series of tutorials, we will just use the NumPy functions and the facilities in that library as and when needed. So in case you are wondering how we can import NumPy to our code, we can just say import NumPy as np, and then we can refer to any functionality within the NumPy or any object within the NumPy using this np dot, np dot ones and all that sort of stuff. So we are going to see that in detail in the very next tutorial. So this tutorial was all about NumPy, numbers, images, and very basics of image processing, how an image is represented in a computer system. So in the next tutorial we are going to understand how to draw images using OpenCV and NumPy. Okay, thanks a lot for watching my tutorial. Let me know your thoughts and suggestions in the comment section. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I will see you next time.